I'd like to welcome you today to this edition of Hartford Visions. My name is Wade Horsey, I'm the host, and our guest today is Sylvia Batiga, Doctor of Education, who is the president of Alliance Française de Hartford. Alors, Sylvia, comment ça va?
Oh, ça va très bien, merci. Bonjour.
And Sylvia is going to talk to us about the Alliance Française. We will try to keep it in English. And
Yes.
what's going on with the Alliance and her view and their view of Hartford. So Sylvia, what is your view on the future of Hartford?
Well, Wade, first of all, I would like to thank you very much for inviting me and for having me here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time that I'm here on TV, so I'll try to do my best. And as you said, not to break into French. Our organization is called Alliance Française de Hartford. So we are really committed to the area and to Hartford in particular. And we have been in Hartford itself since 1995.
Okay.
So, which makes like 20 years already, where our locale has been in the wonderful Art Deco building of Theatre Works.
Okay. All
And
right.
probably you are familiar with it.
I know where that is, yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So Hartford has been very, very good to us. But it's not just the locale and the fact that, you know, we serve people in Hartford, not just people who live in Hartford, but also those who work in Hartford. But we have, we have a lot of connections with other organizations that are located in Hartford.
Right. What brought the organization to Hartford?
Well, first of all, ours is a very old organization.
Right.
I think that the first time that you can hear in the archives, we found the word or the words Alliance Française de Hartford, actually, is in 1889.
That's all, yes.
That's all. That's all. Of course, I was not around, just
No.
for those who wonder. But since then, the Alliance Française was founded, and as a conversation, as a social club, where
Okay.
people would, Francophiles, of course, would get together and talk about, in French, about events that was happening in France, etc. Then, but in 1980s, there was a big leap in the Alliance Française.
Okay.
We opened a school.
Ah, okay.
So from then, 1980, we started to teach and to promote the language and the culture within the area. Not yet in Hartford, but in the area.
Okay.
And then the other big leap was when we got our own locale in Theatre Works, as I said, in the building of Theatre Works. And that was in 1995.
Okay.
And the first idea was to have like a little space for people who work in Hartford and people who live in Hartford to come to the Alliance and have a space where they could read magazines or watch a program in French, even during their lunch hour.
Oh, great.
You know, for
Great.
people who
Yeah.
work there also. And it worked out for a few years like that.
Okay.
And of course, we have also our school working there. So during the week, many students come.
Tell me a little bit more about the school in terms of about how many people, what kinds of classes, you know, what's the level of French that people have?
Well, we teach at different levels. you have classes that are geared towards the beginners, and then we have more advanced classes, and then for those classes about events that are happening in the Francophone world, not just necessarily in France, things that are happening for people who are conversational, but would like to maintain their language, and continue practicing. And so our classes are in the evenings, and every day, Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. We don't teach on Fridays. On Fridays we are en vacances.
En vacances.
Yes. But so we teach at different levels.
So is the emphasis on literature or news or just conversation generally?
Well, for the more advanced people who come, students who come, that would be, we do literature and also events in general. But for the beginners or the intermediate students, those are the classes are more geared towards learning the language.
Okay.
So
now, there's one other thing that I noticed. I did a little bit of research, not a lot, but a little bit, and that I think France is one of the export partners of Connecticut,
Absolutely.
And is one of the top tier in terms of commerce going back and forth.
Absolutely.
And so that should mean that there are a lot of French citizens who actually live and work in the area. Is that true?
That is true. That is true. And as you know, or maybe our listeners know, there are very big companies, French companies here, or American companies who have I'm thinking
subsidiaries.
About subsidiaries, and they're very related to what's happening in France. I remember that the United Technologies, they are in charge of the Otis elevator that goes up that Tour Eiffel. So,
do they do the Tour Eiffel?
Yes,
I did not know that. That's a great one. Okay, so that's a local connection.
A very, very interesting connection. I worked there for a couple of months, I remember. And what happens is that they asked me to talk to engineers in France, and I was enchanted because the first part of the conversation, like bonjour, how are you, blah blah blah, went perfectly. But then they started to talk about engineer jargon, and then I couldn't just I got completely lost. So they kind of pushed me aside, and then they transferred the call to another engineer who understood perfectly everything, even if the guy didn't speak French at all.
Well, so there is a technical journal that has all of the French professional words that you would not get in normal conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I could have read that. I should have read that before volunteering for that call, because it didn't go so well. Yeah.
Well, one of my first experiences was actually working on the French or European space program, and the company that I worked for was called Études and Techniques de Charleroi. And so they focused on making the Ariane rocket. So, and they had a launch facility in French Guiana.
Oh.
So that was my first really introduction. Okay.
Oh.
So
well, maybe I could. I don't think I could have translated for you either. Just there, because my French is not so geared towards the engineering and
Well, that leads to an interesting thing. Let's talk a little bit more about your background. Now, you're not French, are you?
No.
Where do you come from?
I come from Uruguay.
Uruguay,
which is a country between Brazil, Argentina, on the Atlantic side of South America.
Okay.
And the reason why I speak French, and all my connection with France is that my grandfather was French.
Okay.
And so my parents didn't want to lose the connection with France and the language. So I went to a French bilingual school.
Schools, okay.
And which is called Lycée Française, and there's there are all over the world, and they're here in New York and California, Los Angeles.
Okay. What is the difference between the Lycée and the Alliance?
Well,
Is it just different organization or just a different focus?
The lycée, it's like it's an elementary. It's called Lycée Français, which should be high school here.
Okay.
Lycée, high school, but it really has classes: elementary and middle school and high school. And what we do, it's a bilingual school where you learn the language, studying geography or studying history, not just as a language. And the difference is that you do the same kind of studies that the French kids are doing in France.
So if you're a French expatriate,
Yes.
and your kids are with you, then this would allow you, when you go back to France, to not have them lose a place because they shifted their education.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You could transfer to the French system, education system, with no problem whatsoever.
And you'd be right on. You'd be right on track. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You take the same exams. You take the same. There's the same curriculum. So. So from that point of view, we are not that. We are teaching the language and the culture, the francophone of the francophone countries.
Okay.
So in the Alliance, it should the learning of the language is completely different.
Okay. And once you went through the bilingual education, then how did you get to the United States?
Well, actually, my sister was here. She came with a scholarship here, and then she got married and she stayed here. So, being two of us only, I was missing her a lot. So I asked her. At the time, she kind of sponsored me, which is the legal term.
Right.
And then I was able to come here. It was not, I came here a long time ago. I came here in 1984.
Okay.
So.
That's a famous year, by the way.
Yeah. Things changed that year.
And then you went to school here, or did you,
Yeah.
where did you go, if I can ask?
Well, I was in Uruguay. I was going to law school.
Okay.
And what happened is, of course, as you know, the law doesn't transfer from one country to another very easily.
Right.
So I started to study here, and they told me, no, you have to go back. So they gave me some credits, because I started to study political science.
Okay.
I'm really interested in politics anyway. So. And what happened, so they gave me a lot of credits, but the basic credits like literature, American literature and all this, I had to take from scratch.
Right.
From scratch.
Right.
And then I started to, I took a class, a course, the alternative route to certification, and I became a teacher, a world language teacher. I teach French and Spanish here in town in Farmington, and then of course I went to the University of Hartford to have my my doctorate.
Your doctorate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Great.
That's what I did.
And I have to mention one thing, because you know that you do have a conversational group.
Oh yes.
and I think it meets every other Saturday. And where is that?
In Hartford.
In Hartford.
Yes, absolutely, and that's how we meet. We
Yes.
met, and every other week, you're right, at 10:30, we meet in Masicato, which is a lovely place with plenty of yummy things to try. And we speak till noon with in a group that it's more than a group. I mean,
It's a family.
Exactly, it has become we are all friends.
Yes.
Actually.
Now I noticed that people come from New Haven.
All the way from New Haven just to meet with us and to be part of that group. Yes.
And
Massachusetts also. So some people
Massachusetts?
from Massachusetts, New
But the
Haven.
depth of experience in the group that comes is that some people are from China.
Oh, absolutely.
From really all over the world.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's really just a conversation group.
Yes, we
N'est-ce
have. Oui, n'est-ce pas? Oui, oui. We have people from Argentina, from Uruguay, of course, from China, from Japan, Russians, from all over the world, actually.
So your feeling is, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, that Hartford really is an international city.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that you're focused on the people who want to speak and know French at the level that they are comfortable with, either from conversation or education.
Yes.
And that the Alliance is there to provide whatever support they can for
Absolutely.
anyone in the region to improve what they do with the French language.
Absolutely, and not only that, Wade. I don't know if you know that we have two very important programs. One is a scholarship that the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving is administering, and it's a scholarship for kids who want to continue their learning of French at the college level, and that scholarship is called Harpin Roginski.
Just said it again slowly.
Harpin and Roginski.
Okay.
Those were the names of two very prominent and dedicated French teachers.
Okay.
One unfortunately passed away. That was Harpin. She used to work in the Hartford Public Schools system, actually, and very dedicated. And the other one, it's Marie-Claire Roginski. She is in France now, and also a very dedicated teacher. She was more like into higher education, but anyway. And the other program that we are very proud of, it's the McFarland Book Award.
Okay.
That's an award that we give to kids who are in the middle school and in the high school, who are very promising, who show motivation and interest for French also, to try to promote the continuation of teaching French in the public systems. That program is not limited to Hartford. It's in the whole area. So it includes the suburbs also.
So the Metro Hartford area.
The Metro Hartford area,
All right.
yes. So we are very proud because that's our connection also, and how we want to give back a little bit to the community.
Now, is there a monetary award or just an honorary award?
That second one, the McFarland's Book Award, is an honorary. But we do it in CCSU.
Okay.
And we invite, it usually happens in May, and we invite all teachers, middle school and high school teachers, to present their nominations. Yeah. And so the parents come and they talk about the kids and etc. So it's a very very nice program.
Now, do you put on a Mardi Gras function at all?
Well, we have been trying. I think we were invited to something that you were doing. as I recall.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yeah.
But yes, we are always trying to have fun.
Right.
Of
right.
course.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
why
yeah.
not? And you know, the Mardi
So,
Gras
is it
it's
le bon temps roulé.
roulé. Yes, yes, yeah. That's a wonderful excuse to have fun, right?
Now, do you have any other events like that, or festivals or things that you
Absolutely.
sponsor, or?
Yes, we sponsor, you know, we organize conferences,
Okay.
usually just because we have been connected from the beginning with Trinity College,
Okay.
another very wonderful organization in Hartford. We sponsor the festival of Paris of April, that you know, where the French movies are shown every day. So we sponsor one of them, and also we have conferences where professors come to our locale and talk about, you know, different subjects, and many times with professors from Trinity College and also UConn. Also we have. But
So you have a connection with most of the colleges. You've mentioned University of Hartford,
Si.
CCSU, Trinity, UConn,
UConn,
and so a lot of the people are you coordinate with and make sure that they are aware of at least some of the support and things that you have.
Absolutely.
And you also
yes.
provide a forum for them
Yes.
if they want to make a presentation.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
anything like that.
And sometimes it's not as serious as that. Sometimes it's just, you know, people who do presentations with music, and you know, and Charles Aznavour and Georges Brassens, and you know, that kind of music that, you know, it's they're classics.
I think it's Je rien oublié.
Oui. Non, vous n'avez rien oublié. Oui.
And do you either do you sponsor any French films?
Yes.
I know you said you were doing things where they show foreign films,
Yes.
but do you sponsor at your locale any specific French-oriented films?
Well, we haven't lately. One year ago, we had a movie. We are trying to get. You know, we are in the middle of. Or maybe we're going to be moving to another location in Hartford. Should I add? But so, you know, we are in the process of getting bigger screens in order to project movies ourselves.
Okay.
And so, you know, we are in the process of putting things into place. But you know, we usually, one thing that, you know, was pretty interesting that we did this year was after the horrible attacks in Charlie Hebdo. We had a conversation. We were there's a few friends who were French who came to us and who contacted us and said that they really felt that they needed to speak about this, about what was happening in Paris. So we are kind of also kind of reactive of
the events
that are happening, and that would interest people, and also, you know, that the people feel that they need to you know, to
express
speak
themselves,
about, or you know.
Well, Sylvia, I really am delighted that you could spend some time with me.
Oh, thank you very much for inviting me.
And I hope everybody had a good time to realize that the Alliance Française is here. Hartford is, in fact, an international city, and there are a lot of good things that are going on. So this is Wade Horsey. I'd like to just thank you for watching our Hartford Visions program, and I look forward to seeing you at our next event. Thank you very much.